shows are individually owned and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Welcome to the Edventures in Tech podcast, talking the latest tips and trends in educational technology to innovate and engage your students. Here are your hosts, Andrew and Dan.
Back and better here for episode 67, Dan. 67. 67. yeah, that's me.
I can't believe it.
We got kids. Anyways, we thank you again for once again listening on all the platforms. Welcome to episode 67 of the Adventures in Tech podcast. This is part two of our conversation with Matt Miller. So we hope you enjoy it. So here's Matt. Yeah, the big thing that I think we talked about a lot too, especially after the post-COVID years, you mentioned balance, right, Matt? And balance is so important because, like you said, everybody was always saying, "I don't have time. I don't have time.
Yeah.
I don't have time. I don't have time to be, more effective and create all these ideas." And now we're finding the balance that because you can use AI as a thought partner, you should have more balance in your personal life because you have AI. I think, a good, when we talk about, something that used to take hours and you actually just wrote about it, tweeted about it recently was 15 minutes for sub plans, right?
Yeah.
Like that, how to create those substitute teacher plans in 15 minutes when it used to, you'd be prepping it for, an hour, 2 hours, whatever it may be. So now, whether you have a sick kid or you don't feel well yourself, it's a lot easier. You're being more efficient with your time, and that helps you find the balance. If you're not feeling well, or you have a sick child, or whatever the case may be, you got to be out those 15 minutes versus 2 hours or whatever it is. That's a key tip. That's like a quick hitting tip for our listeners. That if you don't follow Matt on X, I know we always say Twitter, but X, right?
Yeah.
It's at J Matt Miller.
Yeah.
And you'll see all of these quick hitting tips and tools that he has on here. And the best part is they're free 99, right, Matt?
Yes,
go.
absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up the sub plans, because I think that's yet another, very telling example of how this can work. Because, to write the sub plans, now you've got this teaching assistant that can help you crank through it a little bit faster. But I've also found too, whenever I've gone and worked at schools and school districts and stuff while I've been teaching, I've been writing a decent amount of sub plans these days. And I've found that if I give my students work within the confines of an AI chatbot, like I keep coming back to Brisk Boost a lot, I'll give them a reading to do, in Spanish. It'll be a reading that I've either written or I've had a first draft kind of done with AI, and then I'll improve on it and everything. But they've got a reading to do, and then I'll put the little chatbot next to it. And instead of just giving them photocopied questions, everybody likes to leave with the sub. Everybody leaves worksheet packets. It's like with worksheet packets, you don't get any timely feedback. That's the huge thing. Students write their answers out and then they turn it in, and whenever I finally come back from being absent and I finally am able to grade them, they get that really delayed feedback. But if I can put that in there with a little chatbot next to it, it can ask them comprehension questions, and they can ask the chatbot for help if they struggle with understanding a word or a sentence or a concept. It's adaptive and it's ready to go immediately. And for something like that, Andrew, you touched on the efficiency factor of something like subplans. And I'm like, yeah, but I'll do you one more. This is the kind of stuff that you would have thought of too. I'm not like saying, oh, I'm thinking of something you're not, but like, it's like the next level too, is that it's giving them that adaptive in the moment feedback too. And so when I look at this stuff, I'm like, if it's faster and it provides some of that timely feedback that I couldn't get otherwise, like that's a double bonus, I think. So sure. I'm just glad that you brought that up, because I think that's another very telling example of how AI can support us in our human thinking.
Yeah. And like, I want to go over, Matt, I know we go to a lot of your sessions, and obviously, always appreciate you spending time with us. Something that I think is you've come up with recently is, and we kind of touched upon it a little bit with, the littles, right? The K2. But I think, people may not know, and maybe you can, shed some light on it with the K2 newsletter with Teach Flicks Jr.
Oh yeah.
Like, I think that's so important because they're like, how can I use tech in with my littles?
Yeah.
And I think that's a great, if you want to just, give the audience a little preview.
Yeah, I'd love to. This is a brand new free weekly newsletter that we just started called What's New in K2. You can find it by going to k-2teachers.com. So it's letter K dash like a hyphen 2, the number 2 teachers.com. And this is a newsletter that's kind of like run and edited by Carly Mora, who is my blog and social media editor and has been a primary teacher her entire career. And then another teacher named Christina, and they kind of like collaborate together. And there's lots of this. It's not all techie stuff, but there's a lot of good, a lot of good things that you can do right away in those K2 classes. And like you said, Andrew, one of the things that we touch on is instructional videos that you can use with kids. There's this Teach Flicks Jr. Teach Flicks is this website that we created a while back with a bunch of free instructional videos that teachers suggest that they say, hey, this is the good stuff. This is what you could be using. And now we've got a section called Teach Flicks Jr. with a bunch of curated free instructional videos basically pulled right off of YouTube that you can use with activities that you can use along with it. So anyway, the newsletter is called What's New in K2. You can find that at k-2teachers.com. And then if you just search for Teach Flicks, it's at teachflicks.org. That's another resource with a bunch of those free instructional videos. And there's a whole segment, like you said, for K2 teachers called Teach Flicks Jr. So yeah, there's just a ton of good stuff out there, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing I wanted to touch base on that you put out just recently, I believe it was last week or about 10 days ago or so. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm dating myself here, but remember how we would always struggle to find the correct clip art, right? I mean,
yes.
Yeah, we've been around long enough where we remember that. But you put something out about, the 10 AI image generators for classroom uses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And there's a lot of them there. The whole article is out there. I personally, Matt, want to know what is your favorite one? Or if you had a, what is the one that you think you've gotten the best results with?
Yeah, I've gone with Dolly right out of ChatGPT recently.
Okay.
That's one that I've gone to a lot more recently. I would also say that Gemini
Nano Banana.
Yeah, Nano Banana has been fantastic. Really, I keep going back to kind of like the three of the big players in AI, Microsoft, Google, and OpenAI. So it's like Microsoft Designer, their AI image generator is really good. Google Gemini's AI image generator, and then ChatGPT's. Those are the three that I generally tend toward the most. You used to need to go to Midjourney and to pay for it to get really good images generated, but nowadays, like a lot of these that you can get through the big players are really good. There's other ones, Firefly inside of Adobe is fantastic. There's another one I stumbled upon at one point called Ideogram. That's also really good too. I mean, you can't go wrong with a lot of these. And Canva, they've got their image generator built in, and for a while I got really bad results with it, but I'm told that it's better these days. So maybe that's another option too. But yeah, there's all sorts of them out there that you can use. And, even if you use one that has a certain number of credits every day, if you need to generate a whole bunch of images, like use all your credits in one of them and then move to another tool and use up all your credits there. There's just so many good options out there these days.
Yeah. I'm voting for Gemini today because I spent my whole morning generating images on that with good success.
Yep.
There were so many things. I mean, I know we've kept you here for a while, so I'm enjoying it. There are some things like I'm having a lot of flashbacks to previous talks that we've had with you. As you start saying more things, I'm remembering different things that we talked about. And, when you were starting to talk about creating the chat bots and leveling it up and, really it goes to the idea of you can really personalize and differentiate for a lot of your students by being able to utilize these tools.
Yeah.
And I had a thought. I hope you guys catch it. I'm like, did we break the Blockbuster model? Like, are we there? I'm like, are we able to stream our classrooms more effectively right now?
Yes.
It's just some thoughts I started having as you were talking about all of that.
That's impressive. I've got to say, my friend Nate Ridgway, who wrote that book, Breaking the Blockbuster Model, would be so proud of you right now, Dan. And I think he would say, yes, I think we have more opportunities to stream our classroom, so to speak. If you're listening to this and you have no idea what we're talking about, just go search for Breaking the Blockbuster Model. It's a book published by my friend Nate Ridgway that I thought was really good. I felt like when we released it, there was a little bit of buzz around it, and then it just sort of like, disappeared a little bit. And I thought, man, that's a shame, because I really liked that book. I thought it was fantastic. So thank you for bringing that up. And I think you're right. Yes.
It definitely, it definitely, but Dan, that definitely hit the spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you said that, because I believe, and I'm trying to think, if you listen to episode 39 of our podcast, we actually interviewed Nate.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And
That's
talked
great.
with Nate, about breaking the Blockbuster model. So if you need to, go in the archives there. We had a great conversation with Nate about breaking the Blockbuster model and the premise behind it and everything like that. So,
yeah, I don't know. That sounds like we need to schedule something in the future for Matt and Nate together.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'm game.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Matt, quick question. I know what my current favorite AI tool is, right? Do you have one that you're just like, that you're like, this is just revolutionary? Are you finding something that's just like, I mean, we all love chat and all the main ones, but is there a different component of AI that's you're like, this is hitting the spot?
Andrew, what are you doing to me? You're making me pick.
I'll tell you mine, and then maybe it'll give you. I definitely am loving Notebook LM.
Yes.
Like that's just been revolutionary with how we can provide resources to students, staff, and all the above. It's such a powerful tool.
I have found personally, for me and my own uses, Notebook LM is one that I keep coming back to. And actually, I steered my daughter towards it too. My daughter, who's studying engineering in college, she's got a class in particular where her professor has been very hard to understand, but she gets all of the slides and she gets transcripts of the lectures. And I said, Cassie, what you need to do is take those slides and take those transcripts and throw them in a Notebook LM and ask it a bunch of questions until you understand. Right. And then that way it's inside the walled garden of the content that you got from your professor, that's definitely a good one. I feel like for the one of the sort of like general purpose teacher AI tools that I seem to use the most is Brisk. It fits for me in the way that I do things, and the fact that I do so much through, like Google, and it's just like right there. As far as student interaction goes, the feedback and the ability to record your voice and draw and everything. Like, I hear so many people talking about Snorkel. There's so much that you can do with Snorkel that's fantastic. And the like just-in-time feedback and the multimodal abilities of drawing and annotating on a graphic organizer or talking through your thinking and all of that stuff. Those have been fantastic. Like, I mean, I could go on and on. There's a ton of them. Those are a few of them that come to mind for me.
That's great. I think, Dan, do you have anything you want to add about your favorite tool right now?
Well, one, it's Notebook LM. I've been going into a lot of classes and working with the teachers to help the students set up their notebooks for their classes, which is good. I use it when I teach my college classes. I'm like, hey, we have it's actually due in 2 weeks, our big final building of a digital learning space and how it connects to all these different, learning theories and all that. I'm like, take all of your assignments, take all of your feedback, take all of this. Let's load up, build a notebook, and question it. But one thing I did, I'm almost adding my credits on it too. But I think it's Suno.
Yes.
Because I was working with teachers and they were having their, it's a humanities class, which is really interesting. It started a couple years ago, where the 9th and 10th grade history class is looped with the ELA class, and they do it for 9th and 10th grade, and they have a full humanities class. They meet back to back. It's great. But anyway, the kids had a choice to come up and build and design all these song lyrics for and they're like, all right, well, some of these lyrics are great. We'd like to put it to music. What AI tool do you have? And I started using that to generate the song. And so I sat with the kids and we said, what kind of theme do you, what kind of emotion? And we prompted it, and it generated some awesome songs. But fortunately, I'm out of credits. But I'll have to wait till they restock. But that was really neat, to just take the student authentic work and let the AI generate the music for it. Was really cool.
Yeah, that's good. I love that.
So we're going to wrap up, but before we do, Matt, can we just give the audience an overview about Ditch Summit, which is coming December 15th to January 11th? PD in your PJs. There's 100+ sessions. If you have not seen in Matt's newsletters or on his feed, all of the individuals that'll be speaking and presenting and everything, can you give everybody a little rundown?
That's part of the holiday season.
Exactly.
Hey, that's right. There you go. Okay, so ditchsummit.com is where you want to go. It's a totally free online conference that we're opening up on December 15th, and it'll run all the way until January 11th. So several weeks there over the holidays. We're going to have, between the sessions that we've had from previous summits that we always hang on to the recordings of those, and the new ones that we have now, we have over 100 presentations that you can watch and get certificates of completions for. And this year just happens to be the 10th year of the Ditch Summit. 10-year anniversary. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, but we've got lots of good sessions. We've got 2 AI literacy sessions. We've got a teacher AI literacy session that I'm doing with Ken Shelton and Holly Clark. Yes. And then I'm going to do a student AI literacy session about the contents of my book just by myself. So there's 2 AI literacy sessions there. We're going to have a good session by Principal Ra, Amen Ra, who was a principal for a long time. He's going to talk about school culture. We've got a psychology professor from Anderson University that's going to talk about cognitive science with whiteboards. I use a whole bunch of those like little mini whiteboards, and it's fantastic stuff. I mean, you just kind of go on and on. There should be a fun vibe coding session with Tony Vincent and Greg Bagby, and we're all going to kind of like talk about how we're using. You know, I was talking about earlier, the hottest programming language is English.
Yep.
That's, you know, you can use English to code things now, and teachers are starting to do that more and more. So just a wide variety of stuff. So you can, like I said, you can go to ditchsummit.com to get signed up for free, and it'll get started on December 15th.
That's great.
Awesome.
2 other points I wanted to touch upon that are just.
I love all of these points, Andrew. This is fantastic. Pay attention.
There we go.
Yeah. So, listen, I follow Matt. All right. So first off, that teacher lounge is one of the most feng shui teacher lounges I've seen.
He saw that. I just saw that video yesterday. Oh my gosh, you are paying attention.
Right. And I was going to say, it's really oatmeal raisin over chocolate chip, Matt.
Yes, for me. I would take an oatmeal raisin cookie over a chocolate chip cookie. I would. Yeah.
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, again, at J Matt Miller, you'll definitely get a good kick out of Matt's videos and what he does. But that's I don't know if you saw it, Dan. It's very feng shui.
Yeah.
Like it was great. So Matt, thank you once again.
Thank you.
We appreciate the conversation.
Of course.
And then we will, of course, see you down at FETC in person.
Yes.
And we'll definitely catch up and hang out there as well.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Appreciate you guys and all that you do. I mean, you could tell from this conversation, you guys are thinking about this a lot. You've got a heart for kids and preparing them for the future and doing right by them and everything. And if you're listening to this, you're listening to Dan and Andrew for a reason. And it's the same reason that I love coming on and talking to you guys. So you guys do great work. Thank you for having me back.
Thanks again, Matt. Well, mind-blowing with Matt. Just I'm super excited about a couple things after our conversation. How he's really made AI, and we're going to talk more about his book, and hopefully we can do a lot with that. And we're going to connect with him hopefully in January at a conference, Dan. But just how he gives away the tools still, and they're relevant and they're super easy to use, such as the sub plans, the K2, which I think is sometimes a fear factor for people. Any other takeaways from the interview with Matt, Dan?
Well, I just think, the fact that you point out how open Matt is with the stuff he creates. I just want, people to realize there are communities of educators out there. You can build your learning network, and there's a lot of sharing going on out there. I know a lot of what I go to Matt's, Ditch That Textbook or Get Matt's Stuff.
Yeah.
And see what he has out there and share. But, you can always reach out to these people too. I mean, we spoke with Matt before, but there's other great individuals, Eric Kurtz, for example, and all these people who are there just to support teachers and students.
Absolutely. So, and be sure to sign up for Ditch Summit. Right? It starts December 15th, ditchsummit.com. We will definitely be talking to you soon, the annual Nice Gate Conference, as that starts to kick off. And of course, we appreciate all the support, listening on all the platforms, leaving us those reviews, questions, comments, suggestions. Please reach out. Tech hard, work smart, live in adventure.
Find Andrew on all socials at A Nicola Tech and Dan at WCSD Tech DR.